you have to purchase the jewels, and then you have to slot that into your property, okay, into your mintar, and then that mintar creates an ether, and then that can be transformed into an essence. So this is like obscured by like multiple levels now, okay? Yo, so it's been a minute since I've made a video about Earth 2. In fact, I only made one video, and that was quite a while ago. So I thought I'd make some kind of follow video just in case to remind everyone not to spend money on this fucking scam, because why anybody would put money into something like this is beyond me. But let's just go over some of their most recent updates and cover some of the things that they've done that kind of solidify to me that this is indeed a scam, and any hope that anybody has for the future of the game is probably not going to happen. So, and to be clear, when I'm calling this a scam, I'm not saying that I have 100% definitive proof that it's a scam and that I can take these people to court. What I'm saying is, based on what information is available and what they have on their website and what you can actually do with the product, I guess, to put it loosely, is indicative of something that you will just lose money on, or it's like a pyramid scheme or an MLM. Like, you can, like, individuals can make money, but overall people will lose money. So let's get into the updates that they have here, and yeah, we'll just talk about those. All right. So I didn't know if whether it was best to start with the news, where they only really have like kind of two things in here, or to start with their updates, but I think it makes more sense to start with the updates first and then go into the in-depth things that they have on their news. So let's go ahead and start here. Let's go all the way back to July, and we'll just start with July because that was only a month ago. This seems like the most pertinent time to start. So they added resource tabs in the user menu. So they created a way, I get, like, I don't even know if this did anything at first, because I'm pretty sure this is how you do the hollow buildings now. So this might not have really done anything until you could like buy more stuff from the game. Oh, because they added the jewels. Okay, so let's see. They added the resource tab in the user menu, and they added the jewels system. And if you remember, the jewels system is something that's supposed to let you boost the material and resource gain on your land, but the only problem is there is no resources in the game yet. So you can buy these jewels, but you can't really do anything with them. So that's a number one red flag for these updates, is that, so if you can buy an object in the game before there's something you can do with that object, that should raise a red flag to you. You can give them money with no return. Like basically a promised return in the future that they have no obligation to keep. And then they added claim and store function for jewels. Okay, so this is where they, gave you the opportunity to spend money on their jewels. React framework for web app now available. Okay, so I guess they updated their whole website to React. I mean, I don't know what it was before, but this doesn't really matter that much. UX tweaks, don't know specifically what those are. So UX is user experience, and so maybe they just made the layout a little bit better. I'm not really sure, to be honest. The default price listed when putting a property on sale is now the current market price instead of the previous transaction price. Okay, so I don't know how they're valuing a current market price for a piece of property as opposed to the previous transaction price. So if they're saying that the price listed when putting a property on sale is now the current market price instead of the previous transaction price, how do they know what the current market price is? Is this what people like? This is the problem. So when you sell something on the website, they are doing some weird things with like the listing of values. And so when it's not the previous transaction price, which would give people a really good idea of what it was worth at whatever point, now they're giving it a current market price. How is this current market price established? Is it established based on like surrounding land value? Is it established based on what people are bidding for like this land? Is this established as what they just kind of arbitrarily believe the price to be? It doesn't really say, right? So I don't know how are they determining this current market price. It would have been nice if they had put that in here, but of course they didn't, so we just have to assume that they're being good faith. but you should never assume someone is being good faith, especially when money is involved. You really need to take into consideration what, like, even these minor details are talking about. So the current market price, what does that mean? I need you to be specific. Like, how is this determined? Fixed an issue when the price was changed during purchase. What does that even mean? So there was the price, so you could purchase something and then you could pay more for that than what you initially thought, or you could pay less. Like, this seems like a pretty big issue, and if what I am, stipulating is true, then I hope that they were able to fix that issue, because, or like refund those people, but I don't know if they were, because like I've never heard anything like this. But they fixed an issue where the price was changed during purchase. Yeah. So if in the middle of your purchase the price of something went up, I mean, that would probably piss a lot of people off. Okay. Fixed an issue where selling properties not supporting plus or minus signs. Okay. That's just like an easy fix. Then the code, that doesn't really matter that much. Okay. Added Bazaar for jewels and resource page. So if you don't know, the Bazaar is like their it's like their marketplace for the jewels, and we'll get into that here when we go over the news. But they just added a marketplace for their jewels, so you could like trade jewels with other players. You could buy them and then trade them or sell them to other players. Okay. Added a new KYC verification system, now mandatory for marketplace operations and withdrawals. So basically you have to verify like who you are before you enter the marketplace, so that you can't like trick people into like buying, or like you can't trick people into selling you something or trading you something. Like, so like, they're fine like protecting users between like trades or selling between other users. But the problem is it gets really sketchy when you can just give them money for things that don't really make a difference in the game currently. Jewels are now classified by tiers rather than sizes. Okay, that doesn't matter. Fixed a pagination and filters for jewels not working after claiming them. This is just a code change, so like people would like get like a jewel and then it wouldn't show up on their page, or they'd have too many jewels and you wouldn't be able to like click between pages. I'm guessing that's what this means based on pagination and filters. Or I guess it's saying like if you purchase something and then like immediately if you tried to filter for it, it wouldn't be able to do this. It's probably an update problem, but this should have been really easy to fix within a React framework. So it was like a whole month. Like, that should have been super easy to fix. Fixed our minor marketplace and leaderboard UX bugs. Not very specific, again, user experience stuff. Doesn't really matter that much. Added Hollow Building Editor blueprints. Okay. Added new profile tab to access Hollow Building Editor, maximum jewel. Okay, well, let's talk about the Hollow Building thing first. So, the Hollow Building, to be clear, is something you can purchase that allows you to build something on top of your land, and it doesn't do anything right now. It's literally just a bunch of shapes you can put on your land. You could probably do this in like Sims 1 from the early 2000s. Like, this isn't like special. So why, like, again, you're able to give them money without any, like, you're able to give them money without anything. That it doesn't give you anything. It just lets you add shapes to your land. Like, that's useless. It doesn't provide you with any kind of resource. It doesn't allow you to make any kind of money. It's like useless. Okay. Maximum jewel price now set to $99,999.99. So this is like a European way of like delineating between like thousands and then like decimal points. So, and then plus fee. So I don't know if this is like an increase. Like, it seems like this is probably an increase. So now they let you spend more money on their jewels. Wowee! That sounds exciting. I can spend more money for nothing? Wow! Added a notification when trying to set a jewel for sale with more than 2 decimals. Okay, what would even happen before then? So if you were trying to put a jewel for sale with 2 decimals, like, what would happen? So you added a warning. But what did it do before? Like, do you prevent this from happening, or did it just like not go through and it didn't tell people why it didn't go through, and that's why you had to add a warning? Like, I don't really know. Earth 2 landing page framework updated to React. Okay, wait. Wait, what? For web app now available? React framework for web app now available, and then they what? And then updated to React? I thought they already did this. So their landing page framework was updated to React. Where here it says their web app is now available. Wait, what? Like, what did they? What? I don't know what they're talking about. This should have been done already. Updated, added the following sections: how to, partners, TNC, update, teams, career. Okay, whatever. Fixed a bug displaying more than 2 decimal numbers in the Bazaar Jewels section. Wait, didn't you already say? Oh, okay. Okay, so they fixed the bug displaying. So it displayed it. So what would happen? Like I'm so interested in what would happen, and when you tried to purchase something with more than 2 decimals in like the value, like what would it do? Like what happened? I guess we'll never know. Fixed the sort by filtering option. Okay, that doesn't really matter. All right, improve the leaderboard page. Okay, I mean, again, it's pretty vague. It doesn't really say what they improved. Probably more user experience stuff. Added confirmation message to the selling process on the insight page. Okay, it's user experience. Improved withdrawal filter on transaction page. Okay, notification system improvements. Like, these are all very vague, but I'm assuming they're just like really minor changes that just improved like usability for all users, I guess. Fixed payment buttons not working on older mobile versions. Okay, so prioritizing the ability to pay them. Perfect. Fixed property image not showing up on the property deed. Okay. It doesn't matter that much. Add mentors for owned properties. Mentors generate either. Mentors generate either, which can be claimed and transformed into essence. So, if I'm not mistaken, how this whole thing works is essence is like something that you can generate off of your property, which is supposed to let you purchase like resources and other things. But again, there's no resources or anything like that in the game yet, so this is just like meaningless. So, do you get a mentor for free, or do you have to pay for that? Like, I guess it depends, right? If you have to pay for it, again, another red flag. If you get it for free, then again, it doesn't do anything because essence is used to purchase like it's supposed to be used to purchase like materials and stuff, which you can't really do. Also, on top of this, this is like this shit was supposed to be in the game like, but this was supposed to be on the website like at the first half of this year. Like this is not hard to do to like just add this shit in there. So I don't know if like what are they so caught up on? What's so hard for them to implement? Like I'm so confused. Like this shouldn't have taken like a whole extra like I don't know, like two like so this was supposed to happen at the beginning of this year, right? So that would have been well yeah, so this should have like phase 2 should have ended at like the 6 month mark. So they're already 2 months past when this all should have been in the game. So we had added slotting tab and resources. Jewels can be slotted into properties with mentors to increase the chance of generating either. So now they're increasing like your want to purchase jewels because it increases your chance to generate ether, which then can be used to gain essence, okay? So okay. Also, if any game does this where they give you a purchasable resource, but to purchase that resource and to get an actual thing in the game, it's obfuscated on like a bunch of different levels. What they're trying to do is they're trying to like trick you or like blind you from how much you're paying for like whatever it is in the game. So for this, you have to purchase the gems, okay? You have to purchase the jewels, and then you have to slot that into your property, okay, with into your mentor, and then that mentor creates an ether, and then that can be transformed into an essence. So this is like obscured by like multiple levels now, okay? That should be a concern whenever you're purchasing. Like it's not just like scams and stuff that do that too. Like games do that as well. If you go look at like Genshin Impact or even like to a smaller degree in if you can purchase like in like mobile games when you purchase like in-game currency and then it gives you that currency and then you can like purchase things in the game with that currency like that's what they're doing. They're obfuscating that so you don't really realize how much money you're spending. So you got to watch out for stuff like that. All right, fixed a bug generating an infinite loading screen and redirect upon login. Okay, that's just more bugs. General server and security fixes and optimizations. Okay, so these are all nondescript changes that are, I mean, obviously these would just be general kind of bug fixes that you would expect from a company. So let's look at these two things right here, okay? So first of all, we have this Bazaar here. Dear Earth 2 users, we hope all is well. Earth 2 has 2 rollouts planned for this week, one due to launch over the next 12 hours, so long as the last minute security bug is fixed, and another towards the end of the week. These updates have been made possible due to the hard work and dedication of the Earth 2 development team, who have managed the React update with great success. Okay, I mean, so don't get me wrong, updating an entire website to React could be a lot of work. It could be, but this like the problem is that they said that they updated this whole thing back at the beginning of September. So how long do you think it takes to update a website from whatever framework they were using before? I mean, it could have been like an MVC, or they could have been using like Python with like Flask before to like push up the HTML to the user, and then they're like, well, we kind of want like a user side script to go through, so we're going to update to React here. Maybe that's what happened. But it shouldn't have taken them more than a month to get this website into React. What they should have done is they should have communicated that better or been more explicit. Let me tell you what it sounds like to me. It sounds like they didn't do fucking shit. They just want your money. And then they're like, well, I don't know what we did. We can just say that we put everything to React. And then they're like, oh, but we already told them that we moved everything to React. And they're like, oh, yeah. Well, what if we just word it different? These people won't know the difference, right? That's what it sounds like happened to me. Okay? This is a short announcement to cover some of the updates in the first rollout, but you can expect a more detailed official PR announcement covering deeper details at the end of the week. Wait, you're lying to me, because this week was, so it would have been like here, this so the next day, I guess, but not really. And then like it's been a number of weeks. There's been no update. The first includes significant updates to your KYC verification process. Again, this is just how they verify people going into their Bazaar marketplace, um, like to make sure that they're actually real people and who they say they are. This includes a new automated process, meaning users will receive confirmation of their verification in a much more timely manner. Okay, the process will also reduce the existence of incomplete verification requests, something that frustrated a number of Earth 2 users. Earth 2 users will also be required to verify their accounts before being able to trade goods from users to user. Okay. This is a significant and important step toward creating a safer platform capable of expanding to allow compliant transactions between two users wishing to trade goods, whether they be jewels, land, resources, and more. Users who do not wish to trade will still be able to purchase new land from us without verifying their Earth 2 account. Okay, so again, they don't like. Of course, they want users currently in their system to not get scammed by other users, because it's like they want the people already in their system to keep spending money on the system. But then they're like, well, we don't care if you verify who you are to us, because we'll just take everyone's money. That's pretty much how this reads, okay? The second part of the first rollout is the Earth 2 Bazaar, and is the first version of the new Earth 2 user-to-user trading system. Whole jewels will be the first sellable item in the Bazaar and will be used to test, paving the way for additional items to be added as they are released and become tradable inside Earth 2. Okay, we ask for your like, how long do you think it's going to take them before they expand this to other things? Because their priority is probably just to put this out there so it seems like they're doing something for phase 2, when in reality they're just trying to get more people to spend money on their shit. We ask for our patience and understanding during the process of the following days as our QA and development team monitor the potential issues. As always, reporting issues to us helps our team and faster identify and resolve problems, and we greatly appreciate each and every we look for. Okay, so the last part is just, basic shit. So I mean, that's the concern about the Bazaar, is like I guess overall, like, this is a system, isn't that big of a deal. Like, you can like trade things to other players, but again, these things that you're able to trade, which is just jewels right now, provide nothing to like the actual value of the game. It does nothing. Like, jewels don't do anything for you right now. So I don't know why you would even consider this. Now let's read what they say about jewels, though. So, dear Earth 2 users, we hope all is well. A few hours ago, we quietly pushed our new React front-end framework for the entire Earth 2 app interface. okay, dude. Like, literally, all they're saying is that they changed. They wrote this whole thing in like a new framework slash language, depending on how they did it before. Like, this isn't that big of a deal. It will be. It'll probably. So basically, what this will do is it'll probably be more responsive to like most users, and that's probably the most a user will even notice about this. While the changes are not so visually recognizable, the update is significant, involving months of work. I don't know about that, dude. Months of work to move all of this to React? How is that months of work? All you did was move your web page into React. Like, that's not months of work. I mean, what was so complicated about doing that? I don't understand. Because if you were working with HTML and like Python or Java before, or like it that would be the hardest case scenarios. If you just had like if you're just using a model view controller for this, and then you had to convert that into React, like that would probably be the most time consuming that this website could take. Although I will say this website isn't that large. Like, what they're using for their map is just like probably an API, or it runs on the back end, so that wouldn't have to be really updated. They would just put that call back into the React framework, and it would work the same way. So they wouldn't have to make much of a change there. Like, this scrolling shit is kind of easy to do as this update comes into the back end. Like, that shit wouldn't take that hard. Like, all these pages, you just have to like, if they were already in HTML, then it's not that hard to convert that to React. It's also not that hard if this was already in like a different JavaScript framework. Like, dude, like, come on, that's not months of work. What are you talking about? You're just lying to people. Like, this is not months of work. No way. The benefits are incredibly important since it will help us avoid accruing excessive technical debt, which is what we've been facing while using Riot. Well, what is Riot? Okay. So let me get this straight. So they were already using a JavaScript language. They were already using a JavaScript framework for this front end, and it was that hard for them to convert this to React. How? Uh, it was that hard for them to convert this to React. So Riot is. Uh, let's see. Whoops. React, a JavaScript wait, what is the difference? Okay, React, JavaScript library for building user interfaces. Lots of people use React as the V and MVC. Sure, since React makes no assumptions about the rest of the technology stack, it's easy to try out. Small feature of existing project. Riot, a React-like user interface. Micro library. Riot brings custom tags all the browser. Think React Polymer, but with enjoyable syntax and small learning curve. So there's not much of a difference between Riot and React. And I already said that moving from something just like Python or Java as like your entire model view controller to using React either as your entire like model view controller or as just like the front end part where you're using like Node or something else in the back end, like either way, this change is not that hard. Like, months of work? And how are you accruing tech debt from using Riot when it's essentially the same thing as React? It's almost the same thing. So they're lying. Basically, this means we can roll out a pivot on features faster, that are more secure and require less maintenance. The update to React is large, and we ask you to be patient as we identify and stabilize any issues that may arise. Sure, whatever. Our internal QA team have been focusing on final tests for this rollout over the past week, but due to some unknown changes between the pre-production and production environments, there are a number of issues we have been actively working to resolve. Let's think about that. So, because of unknown changes between the pre-production and production environments, what do you mean unknown changes? So, of course, anytime you're going from any kind of like pre-production or like testing environment to a production environment, you're gonna have some things that you can't account for in the pre-production environment. Like, you're gonna have a lot more users on your website at any one time than you would in like a on a production environment than you would on a pre-production environment. So that's something you would probably have to monitor as things come. But any unknown changes, I don't know what unknown changes there would be between these two environments. Like, they should be identical otherwise, besides like the actual users in the database and the values in the database, and like aside from the users and like the purchase things in the database, like this shouldn't be, there should be no unknown changes. Like, I don't know what that means. Like, this just seems like they're trying to cover their ass for something that's not true. Like, what, like, I wish they'd been more specific. Like, what unknown changes were there? Because this doesn't really make any sense. Like there could be unknown circumstances between like something that you never saw in pre-production and that came up in a production environment. Like, that could happen. But I don't know about an unknown change between the two environments. That seems like that's either they're either lying, or that's indicative of like a bad deployment strategy that they're using for all of their stuff. I don't know. That just seems weird to me. The Earth 2 community management team are also monitoring socials to report bugs back to their dev team. So by reporting issues through such avenues, you are helping us locate and fix problems faster. Thank you. Okay, whatever. This React update is major, sure, and needed to go live to be monitored and stabilized before any significant phase 2 features are released. But why? Why did it need to go live and monitored? I mean, so if you're using something similar to React before, what you could have done is you could have had one team work. I guess their team could be small, but what you could have had is like the majority of your team working on the phase 2 things, which is probably what we should have done, since that's like what you've promised your customers. Okay, so you probably should have done that. And then you probably would have like one or two people working on this, like this flip here. Okay, like going from Riot to React. Like, that should not take more than one person. And even if it takes that one person, like you said, it takes like it took you multiple months. You said it took you multiple months to do this React change, so maybe it takes them like multiple more months, up to a year. But I mean, that's still like, you're not going like actually giving something to your customers would be way more beneficial for you as a company, and like way more like responsible for you as a company, than just arbitrarily saying that you're going to accrue tech debt using Riot and saying that you couldn't be converting everything to React at the same time. Like, that just seems silly. Have also opted to push an initial phase 2 feature called Jewels out alongside the React update. Of course you have. You just want them to spend more money. So like, this shouldn't have, like, this React update shouldn't have taken that long, and then Jewels should have already been in here like a way long time ago. But also there should have been resources or something you could do. But the fact that they're only pushing things that you can purchase into the game is like the biggest red flag here. This is to get the ball rolling on phase 2. If all goes according to plan, we will look to release the following planned phase 2 feature in 2 to 3 weeks. So I guess those were like the hollow buildings and the essence and resources. The problem is, they have the hollow building, they have the essence, they have no resources. So far, they have a whole bunch of things that you can spend money on. They have a whole bunch of things that you can spend money on, or that encourage you to spend money, but they have nothing in the game that actually is like a feature. Like, they have nothing in the game that's actually like beneficial to you as a user, right? It's I hesitate to even call this a game, because really it's just a fucking website with some squares on it. Jewels may appear on your own properties randomly and will have a limited amount of time to be claimed before they disappear. Jewels can be used by users to tweak and optimize ongoing yield and functionality of their property production and much more in the near future. To be clear, it can't do any of this right now. It can't even do these first two, ongoing yield and functionality of the property. No, production, no, these aren't they aren't on the website yet. Like, this is not there. So it can't even do that. All Jewels can do is sit in your bag, and that, or I guess you could technically trade them with other people. So they don't do fucking anything. The initial spawn Jewels will give an indication of their special ability throughout phase 2. However, Jewels will soon be able to be destroyed, creating shards which can be crafted, merged, and combined to discover new and potential rare jewels. with additional benefits. So hold on to as many jewels as you can claim. We'll also launch a Bazaar to allow users the ability to trade their jewels. We already went over that. Creativity, opening doors. Creativity is incredibly important to Earth 2. In what way? There's nothing that you can be creative on. There's nothing that you can do creatively on Earth 2 other than your fucking hollow building bullshit, which is just drawing fucking shapes on the screen. And while we are certainly focused on creating strong foundations, we cannot be so bold as to claim that we should be the only creative minds participating in what Earth 2 will become. Our vision has always been to make Earth 2 a platform that allows user-generated content, concepts, and ideas to be readily available in addition to the foundations and games we released. So, I mean, this is just fucking, this is a lie, right? Your claim has been, or your vision has been to allow user-generated content, concepts, and ideas. Where is that supported at all? All you allow on your website is purchasing of things and trading. Like, none of that is user-generated content, concepts, or ideas. Like that's just such a, like, you're lying. Like, that's not true at all. None of this is on your website. Therefore, we are excited to announce Earth 2 will soon begin creating an official API suite, which we hope will be followed by an SDK. This will allow us to welcome creativity. This will allow us to welcome creativity, ideas, games, and more from creators all over the world. Okay, so what would your API suite and SDK include? To be clear, like all you could really do with an API from your website would be to show like who's purchased things where, and then to redisplay the map. What exactly would your API be able to do? Okay, so I don't know what you do with an API suite from these people. All you could really tell is like you would have like a Google map basically with all the purchase territories on it. So I guess if you wanted to just put a map down somewhere and then like, I don't know, make like fucking slither.io fucking shit on there, I guess you could do that. Or you could like create like another website that shows all this stuff again. Like, I don't really know what this API would do for anybody. It wouldn't do much. This will allow us to welcome creativity, ideas, games, more creators of the world. The creation of API Suite can only become a reality after better stability and the commercial technical support aspects are achieved. This is not true. They could release an API literally today that just returns the backend stuff for where the, like, what's on the map. Like, this would not be that hard to do. This would be so easy for them to, like, release. Like, that's such a lie. To say that this isn't available, dude, they probably just have no idea how to create an API. Like, that's probably what it is. Like, they're just lying. This is something we have worked hard to build over the past 6 months, and we feel very close to achieving. You're lying. We expect many interesting ideas and opportunities to become available to our Earth 2 users and aim to have an initial Earth 2 API suite ready by 2021. We eagerly welcome community engagement on API requests for the first version. The ideas and possibilities are limitless. No, bro, they're literally not. Like, one, where there's a limit to the number of, like, buildings you can own. All right, whatever. The ideas and possibilities are limitless, and we cannot wait to see what people create and plug into Earth 2. Lastly, we are close to finalizing an acquisition that will not only assist the technical requirements and progress towards Phase 3, but allow us to create the first official example of PvP game linked into the Earth 2 platform. I would fucking love to see this shit. This was like, dude, I would fucking love to see any fucking thing that would show that this is plugged into the Earth 2 platform. And I don't mean that you have like someone pulling the map API and then just like having like a small area where people run around and fight each other. I want to be able to see like someone click randomly on the map, zoom into that, like have multiple people load in there and then fight in like an efficient manner. And I want to see them do it like everywhere. I want to be able to like feel it. I want to be able to see this happen because and like, not to mention, how would you even map terrain like vertically? Like, this is not feasible. Like, what does this even mean? So is it just people are fighting on a flat like map of the Earth, or is there actually going to be like terrain and stuff that's created based on the Earth? Like, this is just so, this is impossible. Like, how would you even do that? This is not possible with current technology, my friend. This particular game may be some months away, but we are super excited to be working on such a release. We plan to showcase this As a pioneering project that will help us realize and create the foundations of an initial API and SDK plans. Okay, you don't need this game to come out to create an API for all your annoying bullshit. And like an SDK, like what kind of software would even be included in this? Like what would you provide to people that would constitute creating an entire like developer kit like this? Like what does that even mean? Like this means nothing. Like maybe if they were more specific about what their API would do and what their SDK would actually provide to people, like that would make way more sense. For now, we are focusing on ensuring our new React framework operates effectively and fixing any issues that are presented from the upgrade. The development will focus heavily on phase 2 feature releases moving forward. Hollow buildings are coming as is essences and maybe either. I mean, these already came out because we went over them, but like they don't do anything. They just let you spend more money on the game. It's just embarrassing. But that's pretty much all the updates that there are for Earth 2 right now. Not a lot, as you would expect from people just trying to earn your money. I would never, you should never, like, I'm not an economics expert, and like, so don't take this as financial advice, but you should never, ever spend money on something unless you can see the value directly, or unless it has something of value in it. Purchasing pictures of land is not valuable. Like just owning those, like, and it's not even it's not even a game. Okay, there's no resources generated from it. There's nothing. Like all you can do is give them money. That should be such a major red flag to you that you won't even know what to do with. And then if you're ever confused about a lot of these like technical terms that they use, like converting from like their old framework to a new framework, like just Google those two things. And then Google like how would you do that and how long would it take? You'd be surprised by how much these people are lying about this stuff, or like just like either lying or bad at their job, right? So think about those things. I encourage all of you to do a lot of research into this, but unlike I would encourage anybody to do a ton of research before they ever spend any money on something, especially a thing that you're not just directly getting a return on immediately. Like if you go to the gas station and buy a candy bar, that's one thing because you're immediately getting a return. But if you're on the internet and you're putting your like information into a website and you're going to spend any amount of money on that website and the actual thing you're getting for spending money isn't clear, you need to be careful with that kind of thing, okay? Always do your research. But that's all. That's all I have for today, guys, all right? Peace.